um, that we can pass it out to people. I think a lot of people, once they realize we did that last week, now won't come. But cool. I guess we'll give other people like a minute or two. Um, but while we're doing that, definitely think of anything that you guys would want to talk about. Post in the comment. But all right. Yeah. So thanks for coming. Um, I guess we can just jump right into the big issue, which was penguin tucks, apparently. Not that we have any sort of confirmation of it, but I think it's safe to say it's penguin tucks. um, so we had the issue that one miner had four different mining accounts, and he was getting, I think at the most he got what 1,600 in a day. So that was sort of the issue. Um, how do you deal with one miner who gets that many? And there were a lot of rumors going on that he had created a GPU miner or he had done something else nefarious. Uh, Luckily for us in this nice little tight knit community, he came out and told us exactly what he did, and he did modify it a little bit. Um, Although we had actually been testing similar changes, and it would give you a good performance boost, but he was actually running 10 servers mining these four accounts. So I think it wasn't anything nefarious. It was just a good little fix in one of the codes, and then he just pointed a whole lot of hardware at it. It's yeah. So I would have to say that maybe the days of the T2 small being able to really get you any sort of uh, reward are probably over even before we have a GPU miner. So you just yeah, the days of kind of hardware competition are coming. People are really beefing up the amount of things that they're pointing at it. We'll pass out some updates too on how that's affecting the difficulty and other things. But it looks like yeah, people are just pointing more servers at it. So you'll have to kind of scale up your own systems to compete. We're going to be adding in, going to talk about the updates. So last week we made some good updates. The big update last week we added
It's
some
7:45.
parallel processing, and so now you can add num processors into your config file. Defaults to 2, but if you're running some crazy 64 core computer or something, now you can actually just mine in parallel all 64 cores, which will give you a huge boost. So yeah, that's been super great. A lot of people have seen some really good performance boosts, especially the people that have kind of multi-core computers that they're pointing at it. The other updates that are coming, we're fixing using the big number issue. That was kind of the thing that Penguin Tux pointed out. So we'll be pushing that out later this week. We also we fixed up the logs, cleaned some things up. And then yeah, we switched Klim. Thank you for the pull request. Klim added, so now it's going to use the fast ETH gas station rather than the average. Should make a lot of the transactions go through just a bit faster if you're just using the default settings. So yeah, that's about it for the updates on the miner side. We're still working on, we made it a little bit faster, and then we'll be working on kind of implementing some GPU miners over the next few weeks. Probably, I'll just be honest, probably not a whole lot's going to get done next week because the team won't be out at DevCon. So if any of you are out in Japan, feel free to hit me up on Telegram. Love to meet you guys in person. The Solidity updates also took place. I think we switched those. We switched those over on Friday. Hopefully nobody noticed any change. That would be ideal. Hopefully it went smoothly and things are running. The basic thing we did was we reduced the volatility by 4x. so in the difficulty. So hopefully the difficulty doesn't bounce around quite as much as it does. We kind of want to get in the habit of examining that. There's a few other things that we're going to do to reduce that in future upgrades as well. But hopefully you guys notice that difficulty has been roughly stable. A lot of you have also noticed that's not also a good thing for many of the miners who don't have really big cores, because kind of the weak difficulty was actually letting you just basically jump into these lotteries that were getting mined. So those seem to be about over as well. The other things that we added in the solidity upgrades, name, decimal, symbol, those were just kind of to conform to the ERC20 standard that a lot of people wanted to see. So now if you're building on it, those are there. So yeah, definitely take a look at those. Other things, yeah, I think that's about it as far as the mining piece specifically goes. You know, it seems to be going roughly well, and luckily Penguin Tux, in addition to kind of mining all of them, has also been requesting data, which has been great. So we're going to be, the thing that I wanted to talk about on the requesting data side, it's requesting data is not directly related to mining in the fact that you don't have to do it if you don't want to mine. But somebody needs to request data so we all have something to mine. Ideally, in the future, this is going to be a user who actually wants the data. But at the moment, there aren't a whole lot of those in a day. So the miners have to submit their own. Now I do this, I spend, you know, about an ether or two a week doing this. But other people, sometimes my wallet just runs out of ether or something like that, and or I didn't submit a high enough gas price, and other people need to kind of kick in. Penguin Tux has been doing that, luckily, but hopefully we can all start chipping in. I think what we're going to do is we're going to start like just like a Google Doc. You know, we're switching over. So I'm added 50 PSRs. So granted, almost all of them are just random pairs I found on Binance because Binance doesn't rate limit us. So you'll just be able to pull from Binance and get a rate pair, and there's a whole bunch of them. And if you do an update, you'll have to update your PSRs, and I'll be passing out notes. We'll be wanting everyone to update their PSRs by next Wednesday, if at all possible. I'll pass more instructions out on that. But what I was thinking we could do is have an Excel spreadsheet of basically what request ID you're going to request. If you then request that ID, it's going to be a really good thing because then we'll actually make a queue. So if, you know, I request ID 1, Klim requests 2, Mike Kuhn requests 3, if we all do that right in the same block, then the next 3 iterations will be 1, 2, 3. Nobody needs to request data. It'll just automatically move to the next one. And that's what we want to see happen. You know, because the big problem now is if I request 1 in this block and Mike Kuhn also requests 1 in this block, well, nothing happens for Mike Kuhn's request because it was already requested. You know, it'll add to the tip and make it go faster up the queue, but that it's sort of pointless. We don't care which one actually gets mined. So we're going to split those 50 up. If you want to be a part of that, you know, it'll be, if you think there's 144 requests in a day, if we split that up among 50 PSRs, that means you'll have to do 3 transactions a day. Not that big of a deal considering they run, you know, anywhere from 2 to 25 cents. But if somebody has to do all 144 a day, it starts to get pricey if you do that for a week or 2. So yeah, we'll be passing that out. Hopefully you guys can join in. We'll make ourselves a little bit more robust of a system. Okay, so any questions, guys? Man, crickets. The other thing too, not mining related at all, on IDEX. You know, I know a lot of people have been sort of disappointed as far as some of the liquidity that's going on IDEX, and it is what it is at the moment. You know, we don't necessarily have the money to do big uh, market making on IDEX, and I think market making on IDEX right now would just be me buying all of your guys' coins. I think the way that we're going to do that, we have several marketing events over the next few weeks, and we just got to get some buyers in. So hopefully we can start driving some buyers to you guys. We can start driving some buyers even to Artem's tool, and we'll get kind of a skew in the demand, and we'll really boost that token price hopefully. You know, I think that should be good just because right now, you know, it's basically there's a few trades, but that's about it. So hopefully we can actually get some liquidity on those markets. But at the same time, this is still a developing system. You know, it makes you feel more comfortable whenever you have something that happened like the Penguin Tux, where you know somebody's mining a whole bunch of your coins. It's actually not quite as worrying quite now because he's obviously not doing anything with them. He's just sitting and holding them. So the fact that he just is holding them and isn't really dumping them and running away means he's probably not attacking your system. He's just trying to, you know, get some more coins and sort of compete in the right ways. Um, which kind of is the last point. It's really fun having all these conversations on the Tellor Miner channel about just kind of what to do in case you know, let's say an ASIC is developed, or you know you do have giant mining pools come in, and I think it just goes down to, you know, what is the purpose of this network, like how, you know, sort of militant are we in not changing things, or how fast do we want to change things. Those are all really decisions, you know, right now that the Teller team sort of makes, because uh, we're still kind of in control of the vast majority of or not the vast majority, but we still have like a lion's share of the tokens, but that's really going to go down over time, and it already is starting to go down, and it's going to become much more on kind of a community voting thing. So really, you know, if you want to have these discussions, have them out in the open. We want to talk about it. We want to have a community that's cohesive, that has kind of similar ideas, that when this happens, we know what we're all going to do. You know, when somebody comes and attacks the network, we know how we're going to respond. We know, okay, we have to dispute the values. We have to, you know, we have the option of slashing them if they're doing this. Just knowing kind of the options, having an educated community that is actually kind of all in agreement as far as what to do to kind of have that end goal of, listen, we're a decentralized Oracle. We provide uncompromising price data on Ethereum, no matter what. And if we do that, that's how we're going to get the customers. That's how we're going to actually drive demand to our system. So keep posting it. They're fun conversations for the economist in me. So if you got anybody has any questions, definitely feel free to post them now. Post them on the Tellor Miner channel if you don't, or just blurt them out. So thanks for coming, guys.